Yo, 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 yo. Anything? Yo, 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 yo.
Yo, bro, we could do.
There it is. There it goes. We got it. We up. Here we go. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to bullshit anymore, so we're just going to go ahead and jump butt naked right back into it with Martin Moreno. How you doing, Martin?
What's up, Tony?
I'm good, brother. You know what? I'm going to say it again. I'm blessed, brother.
And I was just about to say that I know that we're having a little bit of sound issues, but I'm glad to hear you say that you're blessed.
Yes.
These are crazy times, and, you know, it's easy to say, wah, 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 la chingada. Things are, you know, woe is me.
Right.
So to recognize your blessings and be positive is good to be around that energy, brother. So thank you for that.
Thank you. A lot of people don't know that we've been knowing each other for years, bro.
Homie.
For
I
years.
realized who Tony the Wizard was.
Yes.
Oh, that's Antonio Alvarez. What the hell? Like,
I remember.
Oh, yeah.
You go,
dude.
you're Antonio Alvarez. And I go, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, that's the rumor.
Is that my fucking?
Yes.
That's my phone, bro. See, I do this all the time. And my son yells at me, bro. He's like, hey, you fucking boomer. Turn that shit off. We went to, it's called middle school now, but at the time it was junior high.
Junior high school, yeah.
And, you know, we were the freaking Mohicans back then, right?
Yeah. That was what they gave us for running, but we were the Wilmington Warriors or
Wilmington Warriors.
The Wilmington
Warriors. But you can't do Indian stuff or Native American stuff.
Right.
My bad. But yeah, we had, you know, you had the, on PE, you could sew the
patches, the stamps.
Patches with the Indian, with
Yeah,
the warrior.
Even with the, on the shorts too.
So yeah, we were the Warriors. I still had up until a few years ago an ID that said Warrior, but yeah, we were in homeroom together.
That's right.
With Mr. Kinoshita.
Mr. Kinoshita.
In the horticulture.
Horticulture.
Room 38.
It was easy to ditch that class, but yeah.
Bro, I smoked weed for the first time in 7th grade in the garden right there.
No shit?
No shit.
I ditched in the garden. I was laying in the corn. Seriously.
Yeah.
So that they can't see me. I was one of the first children in the corn.
Nah. That whole area, so it was homeroom. You were in my homeroom. You know, Wilmington Junior High, that's the first time I smoked weed. It was a trippy time, you know. I remember we were in, I want to say it was 8th grade, maybe 9th. I can't remember because it was 3 years that you do, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah.
And I forget what year it was, bro. One of the kids got shot.
Yeah.
And I didn't know him, but I remember a little boy got shot. And they did a memorial for him in the yearbook, and there was this beautiful like prayer, like, you know, God needed an angel, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember a bunch of kids ditched school to go to the Wilmington Cemetery.
Yeah. Do you still remember his name? Because
I don't remember his name.
if I say his name, do you will remember?
I might.
Armando Ponce.
Yes, Ponce.
Yes, that's him.
Did you know him?
Rest in peace. Yes, he was in one of my classes.
God, dude, I just got chills right now, homie.
Yeah, that was him, bro.
And and you know, I remember back then the fights that would happen between the Cholos and the Samoans, and
Yes.
and there was a lot of racial tension back then. There was the blacks and and I'm not trying to get all crazy. I'm just trying to remember what Wilmington Junior High was like. I remember people getting their ass beat down, guns getting pulled, people showing up with guns. Like, this is middle school. This is junior high, you know? And I remember a lot of the dudes, because what elementary school did you go to?
Broad Avenue.
Okay. I went to Gulf.
Okay.
And at Gulf, I remember some of the homies that, because you grew up in this is where you grew up, on this side of town?
Yes.
Okay, so you're right in the border of the east side and the west side.
Correct.
You're literally a block away from the west side. It's like when I turned on L Street, bro, I'm like, oh shit, this is where it fucking divides right here. I had a homie that lived on Broad and I Street. Mm-hmm. And we used to party right there all the time. Between L Street and I Street and some apartments down the street over here, I did a lot of cocaine in the fucking 80s, bro. You know, not proud of it, but that's what, as soon as I turned, that's all the shit. Like right here where the school is, across the street.
Right.
That used to be Lucky.
La
Lucky.
Yeah, La Lucky.
I remember walking there with my mom, embarrassed as fuck with food stamps, and no car, with our freaking stray dog following us. And
good times.
Those were like some really crazy times. But I remember in that being in elementary school at Gulf, I knew dudes that had tattoos. They had the dots. They had a cross.
Yeah.
I remember I used to comb my hair back because back then there was nobody was bald back then.
No.
Everybody had their hair combed back. There was a hairnet, and everybody wore like those shiny ass shoes, and their pants were creased. Everybody had pants creased, white shirt, button up shirt that with one button up on the top, open. And I remember I used to dress like that. I wanted so bad to be a cholo, bro. And I remember I got to middle school, to junior high, and I saw the cholos and the shit that was really going on, and I got scared, bro. I fucking was like, fuck this shit. This shit is real. And that's when I remember that. I remember growing up and just, it was a crazy time. It's always been a crazy time. This is Los Angeles, but that was a crazy time to be in Wilmington, dude. It was. The 80s and the 90s.
Yes, it was.
And I remember that middle school. Once I got to high school, once I got to Banning, I stopped going to school. I was at more ditching parties than I was in classes.
Right. Same here.
For me.
Same here. Now, you know what? Before we talk a little bit about high school, today is Sunday. Are you a football guy?
I am.
Okay. What's your football team?
It's the Raiders, bro.
Okay.
I'm a Raider fan. I know.
I'm not saying nothing.
You didn't have to.
Okay.
That little chuckle said it all. Who's your team?
Dun, dun, dun.
That's even worse, bro.
Yes, I know. Okay. We suck balls this year, but I'm cool. You know, I still my team.
You know what? I rooted for them when they had Romo, bro.
Yeah.
I really liked Romo. I thought he was a great fucking quarterback. I mean, Aikman was fucking an amazing quarterback.
Right.
But when they had fucking Romo, it was fucking like
he could play his ass off.
Yeah. I saw the games this weekend, and you know, to be honest, the only one that surprised me, I didn't think the Rams were going to beat Seattle.
I didn't think so either.
I would have bet the farm on that one.
Yeah, because Seattle's a great team. I mean, you got Russell Wilson, their quarterback. Mm-hmm. I didn't think the Rams were going to pull it out because they somewhat have a history of losing to Seattle, but they lost.
Yeah.
I know Tom Brady's doing it again. He's over there with the Bucks.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing it again today. I believe the Ravens beat Titans.
Mm-hmm. And Buffalo. No, Buffalo was yesterday.
Yeah, Buffalo. Who did Buffalo beat? But
Jesus.
Isn't there another game right now?
Yeah, there's a game right now, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And Cleveland is beating the shit out of Pittsburgh.
No shit.
It was 28-0.
Oh, man, that might be a fucking wrap.
Yeah, it was 28-0 in the first quarter.
It's a wrap. Okay. Okay. Now, Pittsburgh started off, and to all you Pittsburgh fans, because I got homies that are Pittsburgh fans, much love to you guys. Mm-hmm. They started 10-0, mm-hmm. and then fucking people figured them out.
Yeah.
Figured them out. I'd rather start slow and end hot than start hot and end slow, you know, so. Now, football, if you had a guess, NFC, AFC, who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
If I had to guess, I'd say that from the AFC, it's either going to be the Chiefs mm-hmm. or the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
That's who I think is going to be from the AFC. That's who I think is going to go.
Yeah.
They both look strong as fuck right now. Mm-hmm. And then in the NFC, bro, you can't count Brady out, but Green Bay looks stronger than they've ever looked.
Yes. Rodgers from Green Bay is a fucking amazing quarterback.
He's an animal.
I want to see my pick right now, and mm-hmm. I'm calling it KC and Green Bay.
It's a great game.
From there, I don't know who can win. I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah.
So, because I don't think you can contain either quarterback.
They're both just, Mahomes is a freaking animal too.
Yeah.
Bro. I mean, he's just one of the greatest. You know, what's interesting is there's a bunch of young quarterbacks right now making some serious noise.
Yeah.
Because Lamar Jackson is no joke either.
Right.
I mean, he's and so it was good to see him win today.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But I think you're right. It's probably going to be KC in Green Bay, and then right there, and you know what? All that is it's going to be a great game, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, I know people are saying that Tom Brady might not be able to beat Green Bay over there, but remember, Tom Brady was from New England and played in that cold. So we'll see.
Now, the Rams get Green Bay, right?
No, I believe Tom Brady does.
Okay.
Okay. If not, then I don't know. Then because
I thought it was the Rams.
Okay, I believe so. I'll have my boy check later.
Okay.
And we'll get back to you guys. Now, baseball fan.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Are you a baseball fan?
I am. I started watching the Dodgers in the 1970s with those World Series with the Yankees, and then when Valenzuela came on board,
shit.
I remember Fernando Mania. I lived through Fernando Mania. I grew up, my living room as a kid, we would watch, the show. We would watch the show. We would watch the game with the volume down because my parents spoke Spanish.
Right.
And we would listen to Jaime Jarrin
on the radio.
On the radio. And Jaime Jarrin was doing the play-by-play for the Dodgers.
When they do it in Spanish, it's better than in English, bro.
And look, Vince Scully is a god, dude. The guy is just royalty in Los Angeles. But if you grew up in a Mexican home, Jaime Jarrin is the equivalent of our Vince Scully. He's the Vince Scully of the Spanish-speaking, Dodger fans.
Right.
And I remember at that time, the outfield was Pedro Guerrero, Rick Monday, and Dusty Baker. Mm-hmm. Dusty Baker, the famous manager with the fucking Giants.
Yeah.
Dusty Baker was out there. The infield was, oh my God.
Damn, you still remember?
Bill Russell was the shortstop. Ron Say was on third base, the Penguin. We had Davey Lopes on second, and Garvey was on first. The catcher was Yeager, and then the pitchers were, fucking Royce and Valenzuela and all of them. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
All stars, man.
Yeah, all of that. It was an all-star team. Those guys were like that. That was the as a kid, I remember all of them. Never went to the Dodger games. There's no way we could have ever afforded that. I grew up poor, bro, real poor,
Right.
and so we would never be able to afford any of that. But I always grew up rooting for the Dodgers. So yeah.
My brother got to take me to see Valenzuela. Okay, so I saw him one time, and I had the binoculars because we had nosebleeders. When they give you tissue, but I had binoculars. So and it was true. Every time he'd pitch, he'd look up and then look, deliver that pitch.
And so Tommy Lasorda, rest in peace.
Right, rest in peace, Tommy Lasorda.
Yeah.
But it's very, very true. Fernando was a god. And I saw a documentary where he was so big out here that his family in Mexico didn't know that he was big yet.
That's insane.
They did. Look, I forgot where I saw it. I don't know if it's on Netflix or where I saw it, but I'll give it to you guys on Wednesday. But you can actually go see it. And his family, they didn't know that he was huge out here. They actually had to show the family newspapers. So, to see how big he was out here.
What was the name of the documentary?
No me recuerdo, pero...
That's a Valenzuela one.
It's a Valenzuela one.
Yeah, when you find that link, shoot it my way, bro. I'd love to see it.
At break, I'll Google it, te la mando.
Yeah.
But now, so anyways, I got to go see it. Got to go see Fernando Valenzuela back in the days. My brother got free tickets because he used to work at Zodi's. Remember Zodi's?
Of course I remember Zodi's. I used to get my clothes at Zodi's.
At Zodi's, yeah.
Well, my parents used to buy me my clothes at Zodi's. I had no choice in that. We were... I was on Beto Duran's podcast, and I was telling him just how sheltered and naive I grew up, just not knowing a whole lot of nothing other than, what was right in front of me. And I remember Zodi's, and it was catty corner with Kmart,
right,
over there in on the other side of the 110.
Yeah, it was Sepulveda. No me recuerdo la otra calle.
Yep. Vermont, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Might be, or Normandy.
Normandy, it's one of those. And so Zodi's, and then catty corner with Kmart. We used to do layaways at
Layaways.
Kmart. Layaways at Kmart. You know, that's pretty fucking broke when you have to do a layaway at Kmart, bro. And I remember there was where the Target is.
Yes.
Was Gemco.
Gemco, yeah.
And Gemco, you needed that was the first place that you need a membership card for. And I remember we didn't have a membership card, and we'd always try to sneak in like fucking crazy Mexicans. I guess.
Right.
And they wouldn't, they'd be like, no, you can't come in you need your card. Where's your card? And it was free. All you had to do is fill out the freaking paper.
Yeah.
But what my mom didn't speak English, we didn't know about filling out no goddamn paper. And so we'd always try to follow a family that had one and try to get into Gemco. And getting into Gemco, I don't know, for us was like, for me anyway, as a kid, was like, oh, that's the cool store or whatever. Yeah. It's fucking Gemco for crying out loud.
Right. It's kind of like what Costco is today. You need the card to get in. You need the
card to get in.
You needed the card back then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I remember Zodi's and, but anyway, what were you saying about Zodi's?
No, my brother used to work there and he got tickets.
He used to work there.
That's the only reason, he was a manager there.
Wow.
That's the only reason why I got to go, because I guess somebody higher up gave him tickets. So
that's awesome.
He took me, you want to see Fernando? I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Basketball team.
Lakers.
Most definitely. And once again, I know I already said in previous shows, but much love and to the Lakers and Dodgers. They won it 2020. Mm-hmm. At least something good came out of it. So
I love that Tommy Lasorda went out a World Series champ.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted. He just wanted a little more. The guy was you see these interviews where every other word is fuck. Like no man. A manager today tries to talk like that, they'd fire him on the spot. He'd be toxic. But Tommy, he was a fucking thug, bro. This guy was the real deal. I love the fucking guy.
Yeah. All good, man. So now let me ask you this: growing up here in the city of Wilmas, who were some of your maybe favorite comics that you grew up watching, whether it's in Spanish
or
whether it's in English? I ask that because I ask rappers who were some of their inspiration, growing up. I ask, if you're a singer, I ask them who your R&B, But you being a comic, who were some of your favorite comedians you started watching as a kid?
I mean, there was nobody really as far as like comedians. There was nobody that was Latino per se. The only guy out there was Paul Rodriguez, and there was no YouTube or VHS or anything like that. So if you missed him when he came out on television, you fucking missed him. That was it.
Right.
So I remember the comics that I do remember were Mexican comics.
Yes, same here.
So I remember going to the drive-in in San Pedro, bro. I don't know if you remember, they had a drive-in out there.
I don't remember that one, but I remember the Vermont Swap Meet, obviously the Roadium, the Paramount.
Sure. So the one in San Pedro, there was a drive-in in San Pedro, and we used to go. My parents used to take us there, and also the Granada, the
Cine Granada, of course.
Cine Granada. I remember watching Cantinflas. There was the first movie I saw at the drive-in was a movie with Cantinflas called El Patrullero 777, Officer 777. And this guy would be like, "A sus órdenes, jefe," and then he'd put his freaking hand up. I remember Capulina on television.
Yeah.
I remember, obviously, El Chavo del Ocho. I remember the movies that I used to watch were like at the Granada we're talking rated R, titties and culos and panties.
Everything.
And you're a kid, you're going in there for 50 cents.
Yeah,
and you're watching.
You're looking like this in front of your parents.
Well, you know what? I used to go with friends of mine, and we'd be like, "Holy shit!" They'd be like, "Oh yeah, ratas del asfalto," or fucking blah blah blah, and such, and you see Sacha Montenegro's titties, and you're like, "Fuck it, I got 50 cents. Let's go see fucking titties,"
Yeah.
And so there was like a movie with Vicente Fernandez called Picardía Mexicana. And it's like this, almost like a double entendre type stuff going on through the whole movie, which is called albures, like te está albureando, and so those were the comedies that I grew up seeing, There was a show called A la Cama con Porcel on television. Porcel was this like big fat Argentinian or Venezuelan dude. I don't know who the fuck he was. And he's always was dressed in a tuxedo, and he always had chicks in lingerie. And so, and that was the comedy stuff that I grew up watching.
Oh, awesome.
So it was mostly Mexican inspired.
Well, it was same thing with me because we weren't allowed to, if you will, watch or talk even English at home. It was just Spanish. My father would say, el español se habla afuera. I mean, el en inglés. Aquí se habla español. Wow. So we couldn't, and when we ate dinner, believe it or not, we weren't even allowed to talk. We just eat. Aquí no se habla, aquí se come.
Strict dad.
Yeah, real strict dad.
What part, are you Mexican, obviously? What part of Mexico?
Torreón, Coahuila.
Coahuila.
Yes. It's funny, whenever I mention
Isn't that where Valenzuela's from?
No,
he's from Navajoa.
I believe so.
Navajoa, Sonora.
Yeah. So every time I mention, a lot of people don't know. We're like, well, where's that at? I only went there one time.
Okay.
I only went there one time. But my dad was one of those white guys with blue eyes, and my mom was like a real dark woman. But that's where they met. So, but other than that, me, the same thing, Chavo del Ocho, Capolina, and then a lot of lucha libre.
Lot of lucha libre. I remember Chavo Guerrero Sr., bro,
yes.
flying off that rope, fighting Victor Rivera, Gorman and Goliath.
Yes.
The Junkyard Dog, this black dude with a crown. I mean, it was theater and it was entertaining. And the commentators, again, in Spanish, and these motherfuckers, they'd always say, y se alborota la gallera, meaning the hen house is going crazy, and they just made that shit so exciting, bro.
I was a kid in the 80s, and my dad used to take me to the sports arena. And I'll tell you who I seen. Huracán Ramírez.
Wow.
El Santo, Tinieblas, El Solitario, of course, Andre the Giant, con Gorman y Goliat.
Gorman y Goliat, bro. That was the duo, bro.
Yeah.
And they were bad guys.
Bad guys, yes.
Yeah.
But there was so many, but these are all Mexican wrestlers, So I get it when people saw Rey Mysterio and oh, he's dope. That's what we grew up really watching.
Yeah, Mil Máscaras.
Yeah. Oh, Mil Máscaras. That was another guy that I saw.
Yeah.
But those guys were amazing. I mean, because those are the guys that jump out of the motherfucking ring before.
Huracán has a restaurant in Houston, I think.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that used to be my favorite mask.
Yeah.
Blue Demon también.
Oh, Blue Demon was Do you remember the freaking movies with Blue Demon and Mil Máscaras and Santo?
I believe one of them was called La Momias de Guanajuato.
Yeah, Mil Máscaras they all fought the momias, bro. These fucking mummies were fighting every wrestler, every generation.
Right.
But in the 70s, I think it was the 70s and 60s. You had these dudes that were they're dressed in suits and they're like the equivalent of CIA agents, but in Mexico, and they're fighting like the Marcianas are attacking fucking Earth, and they're taking all the virile men to populate their planet, and these wrestlers have to fuck, and so they'd be dressed. Dude, the spaceship. There's one movie. I'll send you the fucking clip, Tony. It is comedy, bro. It's like a flashlight that's in the air. Right? And they're like, woo! And it's supposed to be the UFO, right? And then you see this rock hit a fucking and you see these Mexican people chilling, right? And then you see a body of water, and then there's a rock that hits it, right? So obviously it's the flying saucer, right?
Right.
And it goes, whoosh. And then it cuts to a fish tank. Right?
What the fuck?
Bro, it looks like a you remember the old giant robot ship?
Yeah,
where you see the little monitos and things, and it's like the monsters destroying them. But now you can see, this is ridiculous, right?
Wow.
But and then they got this thing, and then it cuts to the inside of the spaceship, and there's this light, and it's like beam me up, Scotty type of shit, but it's good. It goes woo, and then smoke comes out, and then this hot chick with a dress that barely covers her culo fucking pops up with big old titties, just super hot, and then they just keep on fucking this light keeps they keep appearing from this fucking thing,
right,
and then they come out, and then they're out there trying to kidnap all the strong men to take back to their planet. It is fucking comedy. But yeah, those wrestling movies were fantastic.
Yes,
you know, Blue Demon and Santo versus the vampires, bro.
Yes.
And the Hombre Lobo.
Oh my God,
dude!
But they were dope.
And then these dudes are in a cave, bro. There's one where it's like the Blue Demon is fighting the Llorona, bro. These dudes are in a cave. They got these watches where they're talking to each other like walkie-talkies, bro.
Right. That was futuristic, right there. If you think about it.
They open up a suitcase talking about Torre Blanca llamando a control, Torre Blanca llamando a control, cambio, you know. And then when they hang up, cambio y fuera, bro. Now dude, every once in a while I get super high. I'll go on YouTube and check out some of these movies, and I'm just like, this is fucking great. It's fantastic. I love it.
It reminds me of some Ed Wood shit. You familiar with Ed Wood?
Ed Wood.
Ed Wood. Ed Wood was considered at one point, he got an award for being one of the worst directors in Hollywood. As a matter of fact, Johnny Depp played him in a movie. Like, they reenacted his life, but the movie was called Ed Wood. And he did a lot of the same production that you just talked about.
Okay.
Like some terrible shit, but it was comedy. It was like, okay, that guy wasn't that fucking serious.
Like the Toxic Avenger type of shit?
That type of shit. Yeah. That type of shit. Do you remember a magazine? I believe it was Mexican magazine. It was called Ermelinda Linda.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a badass lady, whatever. Yeah. I always ask people, do you remember? No, I don't remember.
Bro, I remember a magazine called La Alarma.
La Alarma. I was about to bring that up.
That shit dude, there was La Alarma is a tabloid for crime.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know, it was a tabloid. There was like exposing all this crazy shit. But the headlines, one of the most impressive headlines I've ever seen from La Alarma, La Tamalera Asesina.
La Tamalera Asesina.
Yes, the freaking the tamale assassin or the tamale maker assassin or whatever. So this lady would sell tamales and kill people, right?
What?
Yeah, bro. La Alarma, you know, you'd see all these like people shot and bloody. It was really gory. It was a really gory magazine.
It was almost like
Faces of Death.
Faces of Death on paper.
On paper, bro. Every week or every month. I don't even know how long, but I remember it ended up in my house every once in a while.
My dad used to was a big, like, if you were fanatic of that magazine. And then there was another one que se llamaba Duda, D-U-D-A.
I don't remember that.
It was about UFOs. That's all it was.
Awesome.
He was a big UFO guy, Bigfoot. One time he told me a story that one of his friends saw Bigfoot. And I never believed in that. I've always been a skeptic. And I was like, really? Your friend saw Bigfoot? He goes, yeah, they were chasing him. Bigfoot stopped. He goes, se cagó en la mano, se la tiró. Bigfoot took a shit, threw it at him, bro. You know, I don't know if my dad was joking because he was
funny.
He was a real comic. My dad was a real comic. So now, really quick, before we go to break, I know we talked about a lot of Spanish, a lot of Mexican comedians. Growing up, any English comedians at all? I mean, of course, for me, was Richard Pryor was one of the first, but also like guys like Sanford and Son, you know, the TV show.
Oh,
Red
yeah.
Fox.
So I think I didn't even know that he was a comedian, but what the God, I can't remember his name from Good Times. Walker.
Jimmy Walker.
Yeah. Dynamite.
JJ.
I remember whenever we were able to switch the TV, which wasn't often because it was always on Spanish. But whenever we were able to switch the television, it was Good Times, it was Gilligan's Island, it was The Brady Bunch, and I Love Lucy.
Yeah,
those were the shows that you know. So I guess Lucille Ball would be one of the English comedians that I saw early on. Influenced me. I don't know that she influenced me, but I definitely laughed at the goofiness that was Lucille Ball. I thought she was brilliantly funny.
Yes.
Then and even now, some of that shit makes me laugh. Her and Desi Arnaz. And obviously Good Times I thought was a hysterical show.
Good Times, What's Happening?
What's Happening was another
Sanford and Son.
Mm-hmm. Sanford and Son was and again, I had no idea that, you know, there was comedian. These guys were comedians.
Right.
You know, I just thought these were TV people, these were actors, but I didn't know that their background was comedy. Right. I wouldn't have known that history at the time. In retrospect, it's like, yeah, these guys were brilliant, you know.
Awesome. One last question before we go to break. you mentioned Gilligan's Island. If you had to take either one, Ginger or Marianne? Marianne.
All day. Rest in peace, Marianne.
Rest in peace. All good. Okay, check this out, everybody. Make sure you call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody, and let them know that Martin Moreno is in the motherfucking house. We'll be back 10 minutes. Don't fuck around.
pussy ELKINS. Oh, she felt it. So stay ready. It's gonna be a hard act to swallow. So take your blue chew and Spanish fly and enjoy the groove.
Welcome back, everybody, to Roadium Radio, episode 125. And this is the podcast that slaps your fat ass with a fat ass dick. You know, when Roadium Radio's popping, the panties are dropping. I'm Tony A. the Lizard, your host, and I'm here with Yo's podcast, Martin.
What's up, homie?
How are you, brother?
Good. You sounded like a radio DJ right there.
Well, I was in the bathroom practicing before I showered. Like, I was just, Anyways, brother, you know what? I want to pick it up.
Yeah.
I want to pick it up from high school. Because in high school, you had like the Motley Crue
like Nikki Sixx hair.
Yeah, you were like into like heavy metal, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Well, like you know what? Give me some of the groups that like you were just fucking banging back in the days.
So when I first started listening to metal, of course it was Motley Crue and Quiet Riot, Van Halen, those type of bands. And then started hanging out with this group of guys, Alex Maciel from the East Side. Not a cholo or nothing like that, but he just lived on the East Side. And he introduced me to a lot of music. This guy was one of those music, to this day, he probably has one of the most sickest vinyl collections I've ever seen.
Wow.
And he introduced me to Metallica before Metallica, like when they first had their first album, Kill 'Em All. He introduced me to Slayer. He introduced me to these bands that were that nobody had heard of at the time, and Corrosion of Conformity, bands like Exodus, bands like MDC, Multi-Death Corporation, Suicidal Tendencies, that were kind of like underground. It was considered like punk metal type of stuff. And so I got really into that world and that music, like a band like Multi-Death Corporation, or MDC rather, when you listen to their lyrics, these guys were talking about government for sale in the 1980s.
Really?
Yeah, they were talking about the military-industrial complex. They were talking about fuck the hungry. This is what they were saying. They were exposing the corruption within that nobody knew about. These guys were talking about it.
Wow.
They were woke before the term existed, if you will. They were talking about, GMOs, which everybody talks about now, They were talking about radioactive chocolate, because Hershey's was putting all these GMOs into their chocolate and talking about fucking radioactive chocolate forever and ever. Buy a Hershey, we'll sell you death without mercy. Radioactive chocolate forever. And, I'm listening to this shit as a teenager.
Damn.
They had a song called Corporate Death Burger. Corporate Death Burger, Ronald McDonald. You know how ahead of their time these guys were,
that's
bro?
dope.
And so this is the shit that I was listening to back then. And, back then, if you remember high school, everybody was into new wave, Duran Duran, Michael Jackson, and breaking. Everybody was breakdancing. You'd be walking down the hallway and all of a sudden there'd be a cardboard and somebody's fucking spinning down there.
Yeah.
That was the popular thing to do. We were the outcast kids, We were the kids that had the long hair. I remember at that time, Banning had a big population of African-American students.
Yes.
And I remember when I'd go to PE, they wouldn't even call me Martin. They wouldn't call me by my name. They'd call me Heavy Metal, and they'd ask me if I worship the devil. You're a devil worshiper, right? But you'd be fucking with them fine bitches.
Well, yeah, I always saw you around a lot of bitches.
And so, but everybody, and which this was the time of the Satanic Panic.
Yes.
Where people really thought
that
if you listened to heavy metal, you were worshiping the devil. You were literally...
I thought that.
A lot of people did, and it was so hard because, and all that was propaganda. And they were accusing these kids of sacrificing babies and doing all this the shit that the Catholic Church was doing. They were projecting onto this fucking culture of music, which was the most horrible thing ever. We're just a bunch of fucking kids that wanted to fucking rock out with our fucking cock out, you know?
I mean,
you know, just that's it, just fucking partying. I just wanted to smoke weed and bang my fucking head, bro, you know?
That'll work.
And I had a lot of fun, bro. It was went to a lot of concerts, you know. My first concert I ever went to was a band called Rough Cut. At the Palace. It was a local band.
So remember the Palace off Hollywood and Vine?
Correct. And I remember we ditched school because I had 1 ticket on KLOS to go see this live video shoot. And I went with my homie Alex, and they had a comedian opening for the band. The comedian who opened for the band was Howie Mandel.
No shit.
Young Howie Mandel put the glove on his fucking head and started blowing it up. It's when he used to blow up the glove. He used to put this glove on his head and blow it up. He had this joke. I went to my friend's party and she started crying. And I said, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "It's my party and I'll cry if I want to." It was, I forget how he did I forget the joke itself. I'm fucking butchering it. But I remember it was Howie Mandel, and then the guy becomes this. He became bigger than the band that he opened for.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, who knows Rough Cut now, but everybody knows Howie Mandel.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. Okay, let's go back to the devil. I have to ask you.
Yeah, they say I worship the devil.
Yeah.
Why don't they open their eyes? I'm just a rock and roll rebel.
Was there any bands that you yourself, being in the mix of the heavy metal, that you thought maybe they do worship the devil? Was there any bands out there that might have?
The first time I heard a band called Venom.
Okay.
They had this pentagram with a goat on it.
Okay.
And it was just, as a kid, you're just like, holy fuck, you know, a pentagram with a goat on it. You're just like, I want to show me more. You know, I mean, bro, the first time I saw the Satanic Bible, which I was in elementary school, some kid brought in a Satanic Bible.
For real?
He said, "This is a Satanic Bible," right? Which, you know, I think everybody should read the Satanic Bible. It has nothing to do with, the thing about Satanists is they don't believe in a horned devil that's down in hell waiting for you to fuck up. They don't believe in him. The only people that believe in the devil are Christians or religious people, to be honest with you. Satanists don't, or maybe I'm naive. There's got to be some people that are out there doing like, "Hey, Diablo, give me this. Let me sell my soul to you and fucking hook me up with a fucking fine chick and and hey, if you could take my soul, give me a bigger dick." You know, maybe somebody's doing that shit. I don't know. You know, but that I met personally, I didn't know anybody that sold their soul or did anything crazy. When you think about a Satanist, you know, the big Satanic Temple now, you know, I don't know if you've seen the Satanic Temple.
No.
The Satanic Temple is very political. There's a great documentary, I want to say on Hulu, called Hail Satan.
No shit.
Which sounds crazy.
Right.
But when you watch it, these guys are fighting so that this country doesn't become a theocracy, you know, because there's a lot of politicians, and I'm not trying to get political here,
right.
but there's a lot of people in politics that would love nothing more than for us to follow Bible 100%. And people say, "Well, what's wrong with the Bible?" Well, if you've never read it, probably nothing. But if you've read it, there's a lot of problems in there, you know? And so when you start, you can believe whatever you want to believe.
Right.
But when you start trying to make me get married before I fuck, we got problems. You know what I'm saying, Tony?
Hey, brother, speak on it, man.
You know, and so that's what these guys are fighting. You know, you when you try to legislate, you know, what a woman can do with her body, you're gonna run into some problems. You know, and so, but anyway, yeah, there was as far as I knew, I'll tell you, in elementary school, they brought out the Satanic Bible. I'm sorry, the Satanic Bible, I guess that's what it's, the Black Bible, whatever they're going to call it. And this little kid was like, "Yeah, my dad had it. I brought it. Let's put a curse on Larry."
No shit.
This is what these guys did, bro. I've told this story before, but fuck it, I'll tell it again. I must have been in, possibly 5th grade, maybe 4th. I don't remember, somewhere around there. It was either between 4th and 6th. And Larry was the kid that just pissed everybody off. You know, he was the kid that probably needed to be on Ritalin, but it was before Ritalin got invented. And so he was always getting in trouble and shit, right? And pissing everybody off. And I remember they brought this thing out. And I was like on the outside kind of trying to see what the fuck was going on. And these kids were down there on the dirt. And one of them said, "Oh, mighty Satan put a curse on Larry, but really bad." This was during recess. I go back to class, come back out for lunchtime. And we got the you know how you get different areas to play.
Right.
And so we were playing softball. And you have those fences with the backdrop type of thing.
Right.
The backstop type of thing. And the ball got stuck up on the top, and everybody was throwing shit up there trying to get the ball off, right? And Larry starts climbing the fucking fence to get to the top to get the fucking ball, and everybody's just throwing shit, and somebody throws a brick, and it fucking hits Larry in the forehead.
A brick?
A brick. All right. He figures it's a bigger rock. This will fucking move the ball. We'll have our ball back. It hits fucking Larry in the forehead. Larry starts bleeding, and you know, you cut yourself on the forehead.
Yeah.
Your face is going to be covered in blood.
Right.
So now Larry is crying and screaming. All right, and he starts heading to the bathroom. The way that you walk from the playground at golf, you walk all the way back to the building, to the 2-story building where the 6th grade classes are. And the bathrooms are right there. The boys' bathroom's right next to the girls' bathroom. Or the girl, because he couldn't see, walked into the girls' bathroom.
Oh, shit.
The girls had the lights off. And the girls were in there doing that stupid-ass old game where they'd say, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary." And so they fucking turn on the light, somebody turns on the light, they see this fucker in there with the face full of blood. All the girls come running out because they think that Bloody fucking Mary appeared. All right. Wow. Now it's Bloody Larry. It's not Bloody Mary. All right. And this is the closest thing I saw to a satanic curse and the Satanic Bible. And it was all by accident, coincidence, everything lined up for some weird ass shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. That was.
He said Bloody Larry, not
Bloody Larry, homie.
Wow. Okay, so now, let's leave the devil alone. Okay, so now at one point, you said you actually drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So high school was, like I said, I was walking around with a Venom shirt. I had a fake band called Slaughter with Alex Maciel, Mario Perez, rest in peace, my friend Jesus Payares, and Pete Maciel. And we had this fake band called Slaughter before there was a real band called Slaughter. We had this military jacket, had put a skull back there, and wrote this thing that said, "The goat shall rise, the curtain will reveal that in this fucking world only death is real." My friend had that on his jacket. I had a pentagram with a goat, and it said Venom on my vest. And we'd walk the hallways of Banning High like that. And, you know, people would pray for us. You know, the New Life Club was very popular at the time. Right. There was a lot of Christians there. And New Life was a popular, thing.
Right.
There was a kid named Garth in one of my classes that would always tell me about Jesus. And he'd come up and he'd be like, "Hey, do you remember what John blah, blah, blah says?" And I'd be like, "No, I forgot." And then he'd just start reading the Bible to me. And I want to say it was Mr. Gold's class. Mr. Gold, that class was always just doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. For some reason. I'm trying to throw Mr. Gold under the bus, but I'm sure he's not teaching there anymore. And so all of a sudden I start getting all this, people giving me tracks, the little chingaderitas to tell me about Jesus and Jesus and Jesus. And this one kid named Juan, who was like I'm pretty sure he used to sell crack. There was a lot of crack selling at Banning back then.
Yes, there was.
Those motherfuckers were selling crack,
Yes.
Dude, there's no reason a fucking 17-year-old should have a fucking drop Nissan back in the day with some bumping ass sounds, but it happened.
It happened, yeah.
And I remember this dude went from, selling and smoking to carrying a Bible around.
No shit.
And do you remember when Ronald Reagan got shot?
Yes.
The attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. Yeah.
There were rumors flying around saying that the guy who shot him, one of the rumors was that he thought he was the Antichrist. That was one of the rumors, but there was multiple. Yeah.
So that rumor was very powerful at the time, because this guy then says to me, "This is the book of Revelation, Martin." And this is a guy that I used to party with.
Right.
And he's like, "This is a book of Revelation. You got to listen to me." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you're crazy." And he's like, no. Look, this is the end. This is the end. This is the end of the book. You don't have to read the beginning. This is what happens at the. We're already at the end, bro. It talks about how the Antichrist is going to come, and we're going to get the mark of the beast, and nobody's going to be able to do anything lest they get the mark of the beast. You can't buy or sell, and they're going to kill you if you don't take this mark, and it's going to go on your forehead or on your hand.
And you heard about that in high school?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
And he said, it's 666, bro. All right. You know Ronald Reagan? His name's Ronald Wilson Reagan. And I go, so what? Ronald has 6 letters. Wilson has 6 letters. Reagan has 6 letters. I go, shut the fuck up. Now I'm counting. Like, holy fuck, 666. He's right. And he says, look right here, bro. It says, and the beast, I saw the beast come, and one of his heads was shot, and they tried to kill the beast, but the beast survived, and he couldn't. And well, Brady got shot in the head. That was one of his heads got shot.
Right.
And he still survived. And I'm like, my God, he's fucking right. It's fucking the end of the world's coming. And so he invited me to church, and I went to church, and I became a born-again Christian.
Really?
In my late teens, yes.
Wow.
And I was deep. I mean, I was going to Christian camp. I was Satarakata Shandain. I had a Christian girlfriend. Every time we made out and I got a hard on, we'd stop. I'd pray to get my Jesus to take away my horniness because I didn't want to sin. I mean, I was deep, Tony.
He said I had a Christian girlfriend.
I did, bro. Like I said, I was praying for Jesus to take away my horniness. Now I pray for hard-ons. That's the goddamn fucking irony of the whole goddamn thing.
So how long did you drink the Kool-Aid for? Like, was that a couple of months or?
Mm-hmm. I was in my whole life till recently, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I really believed, because I grew up Catholic.
Right.
I grew up very Catholic. My grandmother, as a kid, I remember reciting the Our Father in Spanish.
Uh-huh.
Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado. The rosary, I don't know I if you told me pray the rosary, I don't know it. I don't know how to get the beads and do it.
Right.
But I do know Dios te salve María, llena eres de gracia, el Señor es contigo, bendita eres entre todas las mujeres y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre Jesús. Dios te salve María, I know that,
Right.
because I grew up hearing it so much, my grandma would say things like, esta cama tiene 4 esquinas, 4 ángeles que la velan, bendígate cama de canto a canto, que no entre más de Dios y el Espíritu Santo. And when my aunt died, when I was a teenager, I was maybe 15, 16 when my aunt died, and my dad at the time was losing his eyes, and we had a satellite, a Dodge satellite, all crashed. The windows didn't go up. Registration was expired. I mean, had no business being on the road.
Right.
I remember we drove it to Bellflower Hospital from Wilmington. That's where Kaiser Bellflower is where she died, and that was one of the worst El Nino storms at the time.
Oh man,
it was.
El Nino.
I'm talking like buckets of water coming down, and my dad was like, "I'm too shaken up," and he knew that I had already. I would take off in the middle of the night with the car. They had to hide the keys from me, so I wouldn't take the fucking car. So he knew that I drove, obviously.
Right.
And so he said, "Tu maneja," and I'm like a fucking kid. It's dark. This guy's traumatized because his sister died. His sister pretty much raised him. My dad was born in the 1930s in Mexico, the last of like 20 kids. He was born with polio, so they had put him in the fucking barn to die, like just don't waste the food on him. He's not gonna make it.
Right.
And my aunt took food to him, and somehow the runt survived. And so this is the woman who who died, and so he's like super impacted on it, right? And I remember we got in the car, and my mom was in the back seat, or we might have all been in the front seat like fucking crazy people. Me, my dad, and my mom in the front seat.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom saying, "Espérate, hold on." And then she said, "Que la sombra de San Pedro y de San Pablo nos cubra y nos proteja. Que no nos pase ningún daño, que ni nos vea la policía."
Yeah.
Which translates into may the shade of the shadow of St. Peter and St. Paul protect us, and no harm come to us. May no cop even see us.
Right.
Right. And I'm just like, I gotta get home. There's no GPS. There's no nothing, Tony. I don't even know which way to go. Right. I'm like, and my dad's got cataracts, right?
Right. And you driving through El Niño.
And I'm driving through El Niño. And we got home somehow. And in my head, it was the fucking shadow of San Pedro and San Pablo. The prayer that this woman said.
Right.
Do you understand that every time I drove, I don't care where I was going, I wouldn't turn on the ignition until I said that prayer. If I got on a plane, I would not, I'd do my seatbelt, and before the plane took off, I would say that prayer. I would drive drunk, and I would say that prayer my whole life. One day, I'm in the plane. We're coming back from Asia. And I remember sitting there, and I was high as fuck. I took a bunch of edibles because I wanted to knock out. It was a long flight. And I remember sitting there, que la sombra de San Pedro cover this plane from front to back. You're the pilot of this plane. And all of a sudden, I heard this voice in my head, like, what the fuck are you doing? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? What Jesus? Do you know Jesus? What Jesus are you talking to? What are you doing? Are you doing this for what? A little insurance policy in case some shit happens? Well, what the fuck is this? What is this? And it was this really sobering moment. You know, like when those preachers come up and they're like, and the Spirit of the Lord came on my shoulder and he said to me, blah, 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 blah. I felt at that moment the Spirit of the Lord came to me. And then I started looking at religion specifically through spiritual eyes. And I started looking at the lies, the hypocrisy, and I'm not trying to get into a religious tip, but I looked at it in a whole different way. And I've been on a spiritual journey ever since that moment into learning more about spirituality versus, don't jack off or you're going to go to hell. Which is the shit that they would say.
Right.
You ever go to catechism? It's like, you better not jack off, motherfucker. No te la jales, cabrón. It's like.
Pero te la lavas.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway.
You know what? I wanted to ask you this because, okay, so you went from, it's funny, we never said heavy metal. We just say heavy metal del dedo. Mm-hmm. From heavy metal to drinking the Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. What started you off into the path or the road of comedy? What happened there?
So, when I was 19 years old, I saw Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh yeah,
and it was just amazing, just fucking. There was nothing bigger than that.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, wow, that's fantastic. Like, my God, I want to do that. And
yeah.
I remember going to comedy shows, getting free tickets to the Laugh Factory and seeing these shows and being like, these guys are fucking great. These guys are fucking brilliant. You know? And always wanted to do it. And I was talking on Living the Dream with Beto Duran recently, how my whole life I was told you can't do anything unless you have a degree, which is a really shitty thing to tell a very impressionable mind. Because and I think that as in the Latino, Latinx, whatever you want to call it, community, it's such a prized goal for a lot of families that you have to get a degree. You cannot do anything without this degree, and you start chasing this degree at a young age. And then you start, there's so many obstacles that come with trying to get that degree. A lot of them are financials. You're trying to pay the bills and you're trying to, you default on your student loans and you're not going to get any more. And there's, it's if you're a responsible human,
right,
chances are you could probably achieve it. But if you're not that responsible, I don't care how intelligent you are, it's going to be challenging. I got 2 DUIs in my life, and I remember the second program is an 18-month program. And that sounds good in theory if you got your shit together. But if you don't have your shit together, that 18 months can easily turn into fucking 4 years, 5 years, a lifetime for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So getting a degree stopped me from doing a lot of things, I think. I think that I thought life didn't start until you had that degree. And I thought that in order to do comedy, you had to have a degree. You had to know this. You had to know that. You had to know this. You had to know that. And now I realized how ignorant that was. But I didn't, at the time, I thought that was something that was so unattainable.
Right.
That's not even within my...
Right.
Like, I can't even... That's not even a dream I can have. I'm not even allowed to have that dream. It'd be cool... But, there's no way I could do that,
right,
is what I thought.
I mean, and you're not knocking people that do have degrees. You're just saying for yourself.
For me, for myself. No, listen, I think that if you have a degree, that's fantastic. But the thing is, if you don't sell yourself short. There's a lot of people who are successful that don't have one.
Yes.
And I think that I was short-sighted. That was my fault. I believed the bullshit that was told to me. So I didn't think that was anything attainable to me. When I was 31 years old, this was, the end of 99, I remember, how you get those pamphlets that come to your house telling you about the extension classes over at Harbor College or whatever college. You take these, learn how to do photography, learn how to do massage, learn how to do blah, blah, blah. So it was a stand-up comedy workshop at Harbor College.
No shit.
Yeah. And I remember my kid was playing flag football. My son, Hooter, was playing flag football over at Veterans Park in Carson. And I had the fucking thing. And it said you could sign up day of, show up with whatever money it cost. And I remember after the practice, I dropped them off and I headed to fucking comedy college. And it was a 6-week workshop. And the culmination was you do this show at a bar. The bar that they had the show at was a bar called Mules over in San Pedro, over on Western, where the Bally's is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Bally's.
No, it's not there no more.
Whatever, but wherever that shopping center is,
yeah,
there used to be a bar there called Mules. And we did a comedy show there in November of 99. That was my first time ever standing in front of people telling jokes. Before that, I had recorded, like with a camcorder, I'd record these goofy sketches in the living room with friends. And
now, let me ask you this. Did you come up with your own stuff? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they give you the mic. How much time did they give you at the bar? And were you nervous?
I was supposed to do 5 minutes. Before I went up, I was on the floor in the bathroom on my knees praying.
Really?
And I was like, it was like a turning point for me. At that point, I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Like, I just knew it.
Right.
I knew it. And I was like, talking to, whoever I'm thinking is up there at the time, give me a sign, let me know. Just, this is what I want.
Right.
This is what I want. Like, talk about selling your soul. And I remember going on stage. I had missed the last class because I wasn't getting along with the teachers. They were telling me, you're too long-winded. You're doing this. You got to do this way. And I'm like, motherfuckers, you don't know what's funny. And I went on stage. I was supposed to do 5 minutes, I think, 3 to 5. I did way more than that. It was, not to sound conceited, but that crowd laughed their asses off. I talked about having a car. I had a Plymouth Laser that talked and told me, like, your headlights are on. And I talked about getting a DUI and the cop saying you were driving without any headlights. And all, that's impossible. My car would have told me if they were off. What do you mean it would have told you? My car talks to me. Like, I'm arguing with the cop.
Right.
And I'm talking about that. I was talking about how I was pissed that Lucky, we were talking about how this used to be Lucky Supermarket. I was talking about how I was pissed that they closed down La Lucky, and that if you're the Mexican, that it wasn't Lucky's, it was La Lucky.
Yeah.
And that rewards car was the closest I ever came to a credit card at the time. I was mad that that my mom couldn't take the groceries home in the cart anymore because they put the magnets, and now she's spinning around in the parking lot. And I just started walking around in a circle. I started doing a lot of local references, right, which people resonated with, obviously, and I was real up there. And I think you forget to do that sometimes, when you're performing, but people resonated with it, and I was hooked at that moment. That moment when I heard that laughter, Tony, I knew there was. Dude, listen, sex and drugs and food and everything I'd had up until that point, the endorphins that were released from that performance, I'd never experienced before. Wow. It was such a high that I was addicted and I needed more. And I have an addictive personality as it is. So at that time, it was like, holy fuck, this is there's no turning back. And I that was 99. I quit my job shortly after 9/11, and I've never looked back.
Awesome. Let's hold that thought. We're going to come back because we're going to talk a little bit more about your spirituality, somebody that you went to go see lately. So, all good. So, hey, everybody, once again, we're going to start drinking. So go ahead and get yourself some Modelos, finish up that top ramen, and come back in about 10 minutes. So make sure you call somebody, text somebody, you know the rest. Martin Moreno's in the motherfucking house. Martin, take us to a commercial.
A Roadium mixtape to me was something that was made just for the Roadium. You wouldn't hear it anywhere else. And they would do raps on those tapes that were nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? And they were truly the first mixtapes that we ever heard, you know? And they would shout the Roadium out, and you could kind of tell it was like someone's garage, maybe. The little echo, you know what I mean? It wasn't completely perfect and polished yet, but that was the beauty of it, that it was so raw that we could feel that shit. And I would just play them shits and draw. That was my inspiration, my motivation to draw. So I always had to have some type of music, you know? If it wasn't the Dynamic Superiors or the Temporis or some funk playing, it was, you know, second to none. It was quick. It was the Penthouse Players, you know, High C. And Tony G was at that time was like a god too. You know what I'm saying? He was out there DJing Latin freestyle parties, and all the girls had their hairspray like a lion and shit, and hickeys on their neck, and man, pushing strollers, and we'd be like, ooh, look at, you know, these parties at La Casa and shit, you know what I'm saying, in downtown, and mini trucks, and beds were folded in the air like transformers and shit in the boulevard, coming up and changing and flipping, and subwoofers beating before the person even hit the corner. You get goosebumps, like, damn, and Elko would bend the corner on Dayton's, and you were like, ooh, that fool's strapped right there. That fool gotta be strapped. Motherfucker had candy ribbons, little Willie ribbons from Compton on the side of his shit. Jerry curl dripping all over his shit. Bent over to the side, bumping that fucking Roadium shit. And he had a tape that only came from right there. And if you didn't know about that place, or you didn't live in that area, you didn't have that shit. So that's kind of one up that the Harbor area had on a lot of other people. Compton was next door, but that Harbor area was ended in Gardena. You know what I'm saying? So, man, those were great times, man.
A Roadium mixtape is like a kilo of cocaine. It's like a kilo of amigo powder. You get that shit, you cut that motherfucker open, and you put it in your motherfucking CD player, and you start listening, and you be like, that's dope, shit, this is dope. How you do that? But really, a Roadium mixtape, bro, if you haven't experienced it and you was in hip hop back then, I don't know what the hell you was doing. You done fucked up. A Roadium mixtape is like, it's a kilo of cocaine. Music wise, I'm saying, motherfucker.
Man, that's a little tough, but I'll tell you what, it was the best thing ever for me, man. It was just kind of like something you never heard about. And especially West Coast was not getting that shine at the time, you know? So you would go to this place and they would make a custom tape, like, you know? And not knowing what it was just the sound that came out of those tapes that, if I'm correct, you'd have to, like, I would be feeling for those things if it was monthly, if not sometimes bi-monthly, but a tape, it was just a mixture of the latest songs all mixed together. But the intro had like this crazy mix that I at the time I believed that it was like 4 turntables at the same time, but I was like, how the hell are they doing this? Like, was it Superman behind the turntables or something like that? But a mixtape was a real mixtape. It was actually a cassette too, you know, just for the record.
Ice Cube getting dumb at the Roadium with the funky drum, and you know my man Steve can get some. With a fool like Tony A when he plays stupid dope shit by WA. You wanna spray? Dumb motherfuckers, no doubt. And sucker DJ, get the fuck out. Tony?
What did you say your name was?
Tony?
I have won 1 million battles.
Lights, cameras, action, sound. Give me that mic, I'm about to go down.
Thinking of a master plan.
This story's funny. I met this girl and she had money.
Welcome back, everybody. Roadium Radio, episode 125. And I'm not going to fuck around. Martin Moreno, how are you?
Dude, Roadium brings back good memories, bro. I remember the first pair of 501 jeans I ever bought was at the Roadium.
I thought you were going to say Toughskins.
Yeah, Toughskins too. Toughskins too. I mean, I remember buying them shirts. They used to use like a bunch of shirts for like $10, you know, when they had like the Harley Davidson and the 4x4 and the whatever them goofy ass chingaderas had. I just thought those were so fucking cool.
Yes, you know? Yes. Now,
once I got out of Zodi's.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a little drink going on, drinking a little bit of whiskey and drinking a little bit of tequila. Mm-hmm. And but I wanted to ask you something because you brought up something very interesting. You said that you were somewhat on a spiritual journey. I don't want to misquote you, but you went to go see a santera not too long ago?
I did. I didn't know that she was a santera, to be honest.
Martin, but for those that may not know the Spanish word santera, can you kind of explain what that is?
Remember that song by Sublime? I don't practice Santeria. I don't have a... So a santero, I mean, they basically... Look, to be honest, I don't know much about the religion, and I don't practice the religion, and I don't want to misspeak about the religion. What I will tell you is I met this woman on social media from her page is Ashe Imports. And she reached out because I was talking about sage and just cleansing with sage and things. And so she reached out and said, hey, I'd like to gift you some sage. I was listening to your podcast. My husband's a fan. He listens to your podcast. He told me that that you like sage. I'd like to gift you some. I said, sure. So I, sent her the information. She mailed me the stuff, and I was like, oh wow, this is pretty fucking awesome. She sent me some crystals, some sage. I'm a big fan of sage, bro. Like I said, after that thing on the airplane, I also went to a church, a 420 church.
Okay.
And started learning about the anointing oil in the Old Testament, where they used to heal and anoint the priests. And when you see the recipe for the anointing oil, it calls for myrrh, cinnamon, cassia, and depending on what translation you're reading, it's either canna balsam, or calamus, which is the biggest part of the recipe for the anointing oil. Calamus is what the Catholic Church still uses to this day to make the anointing oil with, and it is a toxic plant. Calamus will cause cancer.
Wow.
So I don't know that a book that claims to have your best interest at heart would tell you to use a cancerous plant for your healing. Also, you can't use calamus as a fiber or as food. There's nothing in it. Hemp, however, and cannabis, you can use as a fiber. There's hemp clothing, there's hemp rope, and you can also, there's protein in hemp.
Right.
So when it talks about store your fill up your storerooms with this so that you may survive the hard times, I don't know that calamus would be the one that they would suggest. As a matter of fact, if you look at the Torah and you see the recipe, there's a picture of cannabis there.
Okay.
And so there's a big debate whether there was weed in the anointing oil. And if there was a lot of it. I'm talking about like pounds of this shit in a concentrate. You see on Instagram today these kids that are having these seizures, they hit the vape and all of a sudden they're cool and they're not smacking themselves in the head anymore, like a miracle. It almost looks like, if you don't know any better, if it was fucking 2,000 years ago, that could look like demon possession. If you're beating the fuck out of yourself, you put a little bit of this anointing oil and you stop and it's a miracle. We've cast the demons out of you. So I'm a firm believer that the anointing oil from the Bible is made up of cannabis.
Okay.
And there's plenty of documentation to back that up. So again, I've been on this quest, and so I've been using sage. I've been of messing with some crystals. I'm even making moon water, for crying out loud. Right?
Moon water?
Oh, dude, you don't even want to get me into the moon water fucking rabbit hole right now.
Now, you're not talking about the moon walk. You're talking about moon water.
Moon water, dog. You put water outside during the full moon and you do your intention, and then you got moon water, right?
Damn.
But so she hits me up and then she says, hey, I do these spiritual masses. I'd like to invite you to one. I said, okay. I had, at the time, recently met up with a family member who I never knew existed, and took her with me. We went there, and they had this mass where very ritualistic. You know, there's some cleansing water, and there's a lot of saints. There's a lot of cigar smoke, and they're blowing cigar and brandy into these gods. I don't want to be disrespectful when I talk about this, so I'm trying to be as tactful as possible. And then they started talking to the spirit realm.
Okay.
Which, you know,
did that freak you out or no?
It didn't. It really didn't. And I was like, the things that were said were very powerful and they resonated. You know, like when you have that, a lot of people go to those psychic, like, you know, whoever those psychics are, where it's like, okay, I sense somebody with the letter R, and, you know, somebody's wearing purple panties, y la chingada.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. It was really, really powerful, and truths that nobody knew were being revealed. And when you got some stuff like that, it's hard to. You could chalk it up to coincidence all you want, or to a lucky guess, but then there's just something that you just say, there's something way more powerful going on right here than I've ever experienced before. I then, you know, shared that experience with a few people that had similar experiences. And, you know, I mean, not to throw him under the bus or nothing, but I'm sure he'd be happy to share it. Is somebody like E-Zone, which is a common friend of ours. He's like, nothing in my life made more sense than when I went to those things, he said to me. And he started explaining a little bit to me about it. And to be honest, I still don't. I know what happened to me. I know the experience that I had. And I know that the connection that I now have with my ancestors who have passed is more powerful and way more meaningful than it ever was in the past. You know, there was my dad had there been social media, you know, you see Kellyanne Conway's daughter, Claudia Conway. I don't know if you know who that is, but
no.
Kellyanne Conway was the mouthpiece for Donald Trump for a long time. And
yeah.
Her daughter was just going on there, you know, in a bikini, talking about how fucked up her mom and dad were, you know.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and so, you know, had I like gone on social media to talk about the craziness my dad did, you know, they would have come and taken us away. You know what I mean? Like, he was a fucking lunatic. And so there's a lot of like trauma that happened, not necessarily physical, but just some crazy shit. I then I went over and I had a reading. Her mother does readings with this. I know it sounds crazy, but with the caracoles, and they talk to the spirits, and they talk to your dead relatives, and they kind of help.
Is that like kind of like a seance?
Almost like a seance, but more of there's no like, you know, let's hold hands and close our eyes and move the Ouija board or nothing like that. It's nothing like that, bro. It's really interesting the way that that it happens. So I you know, since then, again, I feel like my spiritual quest has found more answers than anything. And it's something that you feel inside. It's not anything that you have to like jump up and down and you know, it's not a show. It's a very internal journey. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe I'm just getting wiser, but you start realizing a lot of the shit that's around that we think is important is our distractions to take us away from who we really are. When you really sit down in silence and get rid of what they told you were. We've been being told who we are and what we like since we were born. We came out and they said, your name is blah. your faith is this. You are this ethnicity. You're a boy, you like cars in the color blue, and you don't cry. And they've told us what we like and what we want and what we need. And you will grow up and you will get married and you'll buy a house and you'll have kids and this is what you want to do. Those weren't decisions that were made from us. Those were goals that were put on us from people that were taught that.
Yeah.
And I think that when you shut all that down and you really try to figure out who is inside, there's motherfuckers that can't go to sleep unless there's noise in the background because they don't want to deal with their fucking brain. They don't want to deal with their mind. They can't, they go crazy if they deal with their mind. And I think that, until you start healing that DNA and all that damage that's been passed on from your ancestors, you can't break those generational fucking malfunctions that we pass on to our kids. And I don't know. I know maybe none of this is making sense, but it's the spiritual path that I'm on at this moment.
Awesome.
Cheers, bro. I don't want to fucking.
Hold on. I gotta pour myself some more. Before you do that.
I'm sipping on this. I won't shoot it.
Yeah, this is not brandy, but this is like some cheap tequila. This is kind of like the shit that you rub on your ankle when you have a sprain.
Hey, this is pretty good whiskey, bro.
Yeah. Actually, I was in Portland when somebody introduced me to that.
Okay, is that like the...
Supposedly it's from over there, Pendleton.
From the clothing company, Pendleton, or different Pendleton?
Just Pendleton whiskey.
Pendleton, is that a city out there?
I don't fucking know. I was out there DJing, and I went to the airport, and some white guy bought me a shot.
All right. Well, that's beautiful.
Because I was drinking Jameson.
Okay.
And he goes, try this one, bro. It's a lot better. I'm like, for real? He goes, yeah, it's a lot smoother. Fuck, some moments me want to sneeze.
Do you like whiskey and bourbon?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Or are you more of a tequila guy?
More tequila, but I do like that shit every once in a while, especially when it's cold.
Yeah.
That motherfucker warm you up. Like back in the day, we think Night Train.
Oh, shit.
That motherfucker.
You know what? We used to drink Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm.
Yeah.
When I had to hang around with my black homies in 21st and Elm in Long Beach, Silver Satin and Kool-Aid.
Wow.
Yeah, Silver Satin and Kool-Aid, bro. It's like, fuck.
Silver Satin.
Or Thunderbird and pineapple juice.
Oh, yeah. Thunderbird and pineapple juice.
Hell yeah. That's the shiznit.
That's hood shit.
Hood shit, yeah.
That's some serious hood shit.
Yeah, man. So I want to get back to something because did the first stand-up, San Pedro. Mm-hmm. What came next? I mean, did you continue to pursue this shit like head on?
Yeah, for sure.
How far, Martin, has comedy took you? Where have you gone?
Man, Tony, that's such a loaded question.
I know.
I started doing shows. I did the first show I did after that was at a bar in Orange County called the One-Eyed Parrot, run by a dude named Bill Word.
The One-Eyed Parrot, that's a dope name.
The One-Eyed Parrot. I performed there, and then I met some guys there, and then they said, hey, man, there's a show at this AA club, at an Alano club. It's all these, sober people that try to do fun shit, and we put a comedy show for them every once a week or something.
Okay.
If you ever want to come and do that, you should come. And I was like, fuck yeah, it's a show, I'll go. So a lot of the places that I performed at early on were bars and Alano clubs. The Alano club is the kick it spot for the AA people. So it's a bunch of sober people drinking coffee and Red Bull and like smoking cigarettes and trying not to drink alcohol on a Saturday night. And I remember being in there and thinking like, God damn, you motherfuckers. It'd probably be healthier to do a line with all this goddamn Red Bull you're fucking putting in your body, bro. Just do a fucking bump already. Like, all these goddamn chemicals are going to kill you fuckers.
Yeah, you're right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so, but I remember, like, performing for them. I did I showcased for a show at the Ice House. And I remember that night George Lopez was performing. I had never seen George Lopez before. George Lopez was not a household name in late 99.
Right.
And then I started watching Que Locos, and I'm like, oh shit, Que Locos. And you see Felipe Esparza, Gabriel Iglesias, these guys were like, and Lopez was on there, and you're just like, holy fuck, this is like, these guys are made men, you know, like
right.
if you're looking mafia style type of shit. And I didn't know any Latino comedians. I didn't know none of them. And I was just out there grinding the open mics for the first 6 months of comedy. Most of the shows that I did were in Orange County because that's all I knew. I didn't know anywhere else.
And how much time were you getting? How much time does a comedian, up and coming comedian, get?
3 minutes, 5 minutes,
no
7
shit.
minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. I used to go to Sacred Grounds out in San Pedro because they had an open mic that would give you like 25, 30 minutes or some shit. So it was in between bands because bands would be in there trying to set up. And while everybody's walking around, moving around, I'm up there fucking trying to scream my jokes at people. Nobody gave a fuck, you know. I'm just up there talking, you know.
A lot of wasted days and wasted nights.
Very much so. But I loved it so much that I didn't give a fuck if they were paying me or listening to me. I just wanted a microphone and I wanted to talk.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I went to a place called the Haha Cafe, which is now the Haha Comedy Club.
I heard of that, yes.
Out in North Hollywood. And then I met a couple people there. And then a guy named Benny Mena took me to a place at the time called Tortillas that later became Wild Coyote. And Tortillas was a room that Willie Barcena and Felipe Esparza would run. Felipe's since gone on to do big things. Willie, at the time, had been on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, like, I want to say a record 10 times for any comedian. This was a bar that a lot of bikers would hang out in, like Latino biker gangs were there. It was on Beverly and Poplar in Monterey Park. Montebello, sorry.
Okay.
In Montebello. And it was a fucking crazy ass crowd. They used to call it the Latino Apollo because they just, if you sucked, they didn't give a fuck. They told you sucked. And they used to throw bottles at people. No, it was crazy times.
I'm going to ask you something, Martin. Be honest.
Sure.
Have you ever been booed?
Of course.
Of course. Damn, you said that with pride.
Oh, bro. No, not with pride, but, dude, I still suck every once in a while. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. You know, there's some people that, I remember when Gabe took me on the road, when I started going on the road with Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy.
Okay.
I'd been doing comedy for all of maybe 3 years. You're not good in 3 years, bro.
Okay.
And not only that, all my shit was, you know, talking about hoochies and fucking,
Panochas nalgonas.
You know, what I knew, the shit that I knew. And, you know, psycho chicks. And I remember I'm in Virginia somewhere. Richmond, Virginia, at a club, and it's all these conservative couples, and I'm up there talking about hoochies and psychos and spanking bitches, and
right.
And they're just looking at me like I got 5 heads, bro. And, you know, the silence is worse than booze. I'd rather get the booze than silence and stares.
Fuck.
I remember this one guy sent me an email. He's like, "Hey, I got your email from a website, and God, you were so funny that night. I was laughing inside because I couldn't laugh because I was with my girlfriend." And I'm like, motherfucker, everybody was laughing inside then because I didn't hear a fucking peep of nothing, you know? Yeah, so I had no idea how to even be funny, bro. I was an open micer still at best. You got to figure, dude, you got to do something for a long time, unless you're just a phenom, in order to start getting good at it. And when you're doing sets for 10 minutes, you know, 5 minutes, you know, even if you're doing 7 days a week, that's fucking 35 minutes. You put in 35 minutes in a week. So you're saying, you know, and that's if you go up every day for 5 minutes.
Right.
Now, so when people say, how long have you been doing comedy? It's all relative, because there's motherfuckers that'll go up once a month. Somebody that it's like, you know, I've been doing comedy for 5 years. How often do you go up? Every other month. You haven't been doing comedy for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all perspective.
I'm glad you're saying that. Yes.
You know? And what's interesting, that I got into the business at a time where the internet was starting to dominate. You know, you had a shit ton of really talented comedians who had no idea what a MySpace was.
Right.
Had no idea what a YouTube was.
What Tinder was. Plenty of fish.
But they couldn't put their content on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had Dane Cook, who ended up having a very successful career for a while. He blew up on MySpace.
Yeah.
You know, Russell Peters blew up on YouTube.
Right.
Gabriel ended up getting an international presence because of YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they have Comedy Central in fucking Saudi Arabia, but they have YouTube.
Right, they have YouTube.
And so, you know, people use these tools to get, to attain success. If you did it right, and then there was comics that were sitting there like, fuck all that shit, I'm not doing all that, I'm old school.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to get my special, I'm waiting to get my this, I'm waiting to get my that. Meanwhile, motherfuckers that had been doing comedy for a year starting putting clips on social media, creating a flyer on Photoshop and calling themselves headliners like overnight, you know. And it literally, I came in at that time where it was like, it was such an evolution of the game, if you will.
Right, right.
You know, and you know, the same shit happened in music, I'm sure.
Yes, the same shit.
Where
well, like back in the day, for an example, back in the day, I used to charge so much for fucking beats, okay? Because you had to rent studio time, you had to buy tape, you had to get an engineer, you had to get musicians. Now, you can do a beat on a laptop. Dudes don't want to pay what I was charging back in the day because the technology made shit so simple. I want to buy a beat for $25. The fuck out of here. That's not even fucking Taco Bell money, okay?
Correct.
Now, I know it affected the music game. Did it affect the comedy game as well?
100%, 110%. I mean, there were people working in comedy who were great at building a website, building a presence, putting meta tags, which were called at the time, where it drove traffic to their website. And these guys were getting booked across the country instead of super talented people that didn't have that, you know, that know-how or the ability to do that, you know. You look at today, the landscape today, bro. You've got people on TikTok reciting comedians' jokes and acting them out and getting more views on acting that comic's joke out than that comic ever got on that joke.
Very true.
That's a different fucking landscape.
We live in a time now where, correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, you could be a motherfucking nobody. Nobody gives a fuck. You do one TikTok bullshit and you become a celebrity over fucking night.
Overnight. And the definition of celebrity is now so loose. You know, I mean, look, Kim Kardashian became a celebrity because she got boned down. That's when she became a celebrity.
Shit. We got people trying to be celebrities claiming rape, but anyways, go for it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's she became a celebrity getting boned down. And there's nothing wrong with getting boned down and being a celebrity. I mean, Tommy Lee's dick became a celebrity.
Yeah, I know.
Pamela Anderson's fucking dick-sucking lips became celebrities. You know, I'm not hating on that. Look, there's plenty of OnlyFans out there that are quote-unquote celebrities. Yeah. Bro, Dope Bruja has over 1 million followers. Dope Bruja has a fucking culo this big. I follow Dope Bruja. I don't have her a fucking OnlyFans page, but I have her Instagram, and it's a fucking big old culo, and it looks fucking great.
Can you imagine if Iris Chacon had
Bro!
Come on, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on, bro.
Charitín. Yes. Iris Chacon. Even Olga Brinsky with that violin.
I met Iris Chacon's daughter not too long ago.
Really?
No, I'm only playing. Everybody's trying to be a celebrity over fucking night off of somebody else's success, bro.
And look, I'm not mad at people for their hustle. look, we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic, Tony. Motherfuckers got to pay the bills.
Sí.
And people are reinventing the wheel every day.
Yes.
Or they're trying to.
Yes.
Because the landscape has changed.
Right.
I don't know that when we come out of this, we're going to come out to the same world that we fucking came into, that we left behind.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
I don't know that that's a reality anymore. You know, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here.
Debbie Downer.
But let's be fucking honest. How realistic is it that we're coming out to the same world that we left a year ago?
I know. Fuck. This whole mask shit makes me feel like Batman. I'm serious, bro.
Yeah, the mask is shitty.
It is, bro. But
hey, but it's the reality and it's a necessity. I'm not gonna fight it. I'm not fighting the mask.
No, me neither.
I'm not a mask fighter.
But you know what I'm gonna start wearing? A Mil Máscaras mask.
There you go.
That's what I'm gonna start doing. That's what the fuck I'm gonna start doing. Or a Michael Myers mask, because people would literally stay 6 feet away from you.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, they'll be scared of that shit.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of a knife, I'm gonna carry a fucking cucumber.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh,
fucking pepino.
You know what comedian I used to love?
Who's that?
Luis de Alba. Ay, güey.
Juan Camané, bro.
Que me miras, pinche güey.
You know, bailo tango, plengo, no, what is it? Bailo tango, masco chicle, pego duro y tengo viejas ya montón. Tururú.
What about Cepillín?
Oh, dude. You know how fucking toxic Cepillín was, bro? You know how racist that motherfucker was? En el bosque de la China, una china se perdió. Chinita no que lee, chinita solo que lee comer la los. Homie. Bro, we said we were the most racist motherfucker with Cepillín talking about China and putting the fucking Chinese eyes. Bro, the fucking basketball team got in trouble for doing that. Remember that shit?
Yes.
But that's what they grew up doing. Fucking en el bosque, dude, chinita solo que lee comer la los. I only want to eat a lice. Literally, that's what he was saying, but in Spanish, right? And this is a kids show that we were listening to. You know, chino japonés come caca y no me des.
Yeah.
Right? And just fucking lumping them in, fucking Chinese and Japanese. Fuck you both, motherfuckers.
Okay.
Eat shit and don't give me none, bitches.
Hey, okay, Delirious Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. Remember, he was imitating Arabics working at 7-Eleven. Mm-hmm. Mahogany, maha.
Yeah.
He goes, nah, motherfucker, don't give me no mahogany on my motherfucking bread. Okay. I used to love Delirious. I want to say within the last couple of years, he actually came out and apologized for those jokes.
And you know, at the time, it was, listen, I mean, the shit that he said about the gays.
Yeah, I know.
Pull over. And then he did the siren and the gay dude doing the siren. Bro, listen, every Mexican movie that you saw, the gay guy was over the top gay. So flamboyant. It's so, and horny as fuck. Wanted to fuck every straight guy. Fucking gay dudes have fucking, they got taste.
Yeah.
They're not trying to fuck everybody. I mean, but these movies would make them sound like they just were so horny for anybody.
I know.
And trying to convert every straight. No me tragas ese joto porque me va a querer coger. It's like, motherfucker, are you out of your fucking mind? Nobody wants to fuck you, not even the joto, bro. Stop it. You know, but that's what we were fucking watching. It was, you know, and I hate to use that word toxic because it's a fucking shitty word. It's like a, you know, oh my God, that's so toxic. Shut the fuck up. But that was toxic.
It was.
It was so fucking horrible. It was shitty.
You know what I noticed right now? Mm-hmm. That whiskey's loosening you up.
Bro, I just start fucking, you know, that's what alcohol does. It's a spirit.
It's a spirit. It's a spirit, and you're spiritual.
That's why they call it spirits. You're drinking spirits, you know. You open up yourself for different spirits to come in. And the more you drink, it's the spirit of me vale madre, bro.
Me vale madre, yeah.
And I think we should all have that spirit a little bit.
A little bit, yes.
Because you can't have too much te vale madre because then you just don't give a fuck about nothing. But you need just enough me vale madre to not give a fuck about the shit that don't matter.
Yeah, fuck.
How you doing, Tony?
I'm blessed, brother. I'm blessed.
You're blessed. You see what I'm saying?
I'm blessed. I want to thank first of all, I want to say this. I want to thank everybody that's on the live chat right now. Much love, much respect to you guys. I don't give a fuck if you guys are talking shit. You know what? We're having a fucking dope ass fucking time, and I'm glad you're here. Whether you're, hating or congratulating, I'm glad you're here. So it's all good.
And look, all I gotta say is thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Que Dios los bendiga. Listen, bro.
Talk to me
during these times. What have you been doing during the pandemic? I'm not trying to flip it on you because I know this is your show. But what have you been doing?
You know what? Okay, this is one thing that I started doing about almost 4 years ago.
Oh, that's before the pandemic.
Yes, I started eating healthy.
Okay,
contradiction right there.
Well, that's drinking. That's not eating.
Yeah, so true. I've been juicing. I just put a lemon in there.
Oh, there you go.
So what happened? I just started working out. I changed my eating habits.
Okay.
Working out is like my new fucking therapy. I fucking love it. I love getting on the bench, pushing 185, bam, putting 245s on each side, bam, hitting that motherfucker, having my son spot me. Man, I love the soreness. I could keep going on and on, but working out is my shit. Now, I will say this. When the pandemic hit, I had to go to the park, fucking start running, dips, push-up. It's not the same because I don't have like a weight setup. And I should have had my shit, already ready. But when I go to the 24-hour fitness, I already know what I'm going to use, And that's really what I've been doing, man. Trying to eat healthy and working out because me being 52 years old, bro. And I always say this, my listeners will know, I have more years behind me than in front of me. So I'm not trying to look old and fucking raggedy as I get older. I always feel as we get older, we need to get better, whether physically or even with wisdom and knowledge.
Listen, let me tell you something. When I turned 50, people said, now that you're 50, what's one of your goals? I said, I just want to stay fuckable.
Okay.
I want to be fuckable. I don't want to be like that viejito.
Exactly.
And I was lifting like a maniac at one point.
Yeah.
I was in there pushing 2 plates like nobody's business. And I was doing in between my workout, I would do pull-ups. I was busting out 100 pull-ups in between my workouts.
That's awesome.
Like sets of 20,
of course.
But in between
pull-ups,
before I got out, it'd be 100.
Pull-ups is the shit.
No kip, no nothing. I fucking pulling my weight up with, and I fucked up my rotator cuff, Tony.
Oh, no shit.
I fucked up my rotator cuff. I ended up getting surgery to repair it. I had to because my arm was useless. I couldn't even close the door anymore on my car.
What about jack off? Nothing?
Dude, my arm was useless. Literally useless.
You go useless.
Para nada, cabrón. I could not use this arm. And so I went and got my rotator cuff fixed a year ago now. And I can't lift like I used to. I just started fucking around with dumbbells again.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm doing like some raises.
Yeah.
With 10 pounds is as heavy as I go.
Yeah.
And I was doing 25, 30 pounds. I'm doing these guys with 5 pounds. And it looks like, what the fuck is that? But it feels so, because I've been in the gym my whole life, you know? And curls, I can do 20 pounds, where before wasn't even a fucking warm-up, you know?
Right.
The days of trying to lift the gym are over for me, for sure. But I did the same thing. I started trying to eat a little better. I got up to 255, and I'm 52 as well. I'm down to 220 now, which is still heavy. But I'm doing some intermittent fasting. I kissed it off during the holidays, and I started drinking a little more than usual.
You gotta have pozole, menudo, tamales.
Love pozole. Love menudo. Love tamales. Do you ever do the white menudo?
White menudo?
Yeah, menudo blanco.
The only time I ever had white menudo was in Texas.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Grew up on it. Never had red menudo until I was an adult.
No.
Yeah. That's all my mama made, was the white menudo.
No.
Yeah. And it's fantastic. It's with green chili. Some people call it verde.
Okay, verde, yes.
Yeah,
okay,
it's the same thing. Verde.
But I'm going to say this. in Texas, I'm trying to remember where, this was like straight, like it looked like water.
Oh, wow.
And I could see the fucking corn. I'm like, it tastes good, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So,
no, the verde. So it's like verde and blanco is interchangeable in Sonora. So my
the verde is
Sonora.
good. My boy won't eat it. He won't eat the verde.
What, you won't eat the menudo at all?
No.
I eat the menudo, but just
The pozole verde, no.
Homie, I'll do menudo. I'll do the pata in the menudo, bro.
The pata?
The fucking hoof, motherfucker. I'll eat the foot. That's what it's called. Like,
Do you got a foot fetish?
Bro, I got a everything fetish, bro. Fucking, I mean, I'm 50 fucking 2, bro.
You've been licking toes.
Okay. So I know. I digressed a little bit, but you said where has it taken me? How
far have you gone? Let's talk.
I have. When I was doing it for about maybe less than a year, Felipe Esparza and Gabriel Iglesias said, "Hey man, we got a gig for you," because I met them early on.
Yeah.
And they said, "We got a gig for you. We're going to send you to San Diego to open up a show at a theater." I'm less than a year in the game, and I'm at this place with like 1,500 people.
Wow.
And I probably got maybe 10 minutes of material.
Now, still, I have to ask you, were you nervous?
Oh, of course. But I was like, oh my God, I made it. Like, this is some shit. Larry Omaha and Ernie G were on that gig. I remember being there thinking like, this is incredible, you know? And so a lot of doors started opening up for me really early. It's one of those things that my whole life, everything that I thought, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, there was always some kind of obstacle in my way that prevented me from doing it.
Really?
There was always some kind of I thought I wanted to be a firefighter paramedic, and I became an EMT. I was going to take paramedic classes over at Daniel Freeman, and I thought, if nothing else, I'd join the sheriff department rescue team or fire department paramedic. And then I got a DUI. And then I remember talking to the fire chief. He's like, one DUI is not going to disqualify you. You're still very young. It's not a big deal. Well, fucking 2 years later, I get another DUI. And I'm like, okay, now I could kiss this shit goodbye. You know, I need to do something. I need to find another fucking thing.
I met a guy in his 20s that had 5 DUIs, bro.
See, that's fucking bananas, bro. And recently?
Yes.
Okay, you see, with Uber and Lyft, you shouldn't have no fucking you goddamn eye. Like, back in the day, you had no goddamn choice.
Yeah, no fucking choice. I was on my
and I know that sounds so irresponsible and like an excuse and a cop-out, but if there, you know how long it took to get a taxi to you? There was no, and you had to go find a payphone to call a goddamn taxi. Are you crazy?
Dude, let me tell you something about me. I was 22 years old, driving to Alhambra in a fucking Cadillac. I had already drank 3 Mickey's 40s.
Mickey's!
3 Mickey's 40s at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm fucking driving to Alhambra to a studio session to go produce records.
Did you get popped?
No, hell no.
No.
My record's fucking squeaky clean, no fucking felonies,
beautiful.
no nothing.
Congratulations.
Bro. Seriously. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to go look up my name because there is nothing on my name.
Oh, dude, I got goddamn AKA resisting arrest.
You know what? Hold on, I'm going to say this. Antonio Roberto Alvarez. Go look up my name. There is nothing on my name. It's going to trip you out. So, anyways, I just had to say that.
That's fantastic.
So, anyways.
Congratulations. For a kid that grew up in the hood, that's a huge fucking pat in the back to you. Neta.
No,
dude, you know, you never got caught.
That's what it was.
You know?
So I'm over here driving to Alhambra, fucking like, you know, I'm going to sound racist. Chino eyes. Mm-hmm. You know?
So toxic.
Yeah, exactly. So toxic.
Canceled.
So I'm driving to go, and you know what I told my manager, Steve Yano, Japanese man from the city of Whittier? Can I take a 2-hour nap? No, we got to work. That was his voice. And I was like, please, Steve, please. Fuck. Go ahead.
Nice.
And I was like, fuck it. And I used to fucking wake up. Hey, wake up. We got a session. All right, cool, whatever. What do you got to eat? I got some pan dulce. The fuck is pan dulce? You're Mexican and you don't know what a pan dulce is? Dude, I don't know what a fucking pan dulce is. Took me to the kitchen. It was pan dulce.
Of course.
Pan dulce.
Pan dulce.
Sounds a lot like pussy. But anyways.
Hey, we want pan dulce. Then after that, I got on a TV show really quick. I got on Que Locos in 2001. 9/11 happened September 11th of 2001. I recorded my Que Locos set October of 2001, right after the attack. I did a set for television with... It was Mike Robles, who was the producer of the show, was hosting the show.
I'm going to get another refill.
Yeah, please.
Fill your shit up, bro.
I got to drive still home.
I don't care.
Hey. Motherfucker, I do. If I was 17, I'd be like, fuck yeah, peer pressure. But right now, fuck that.
Nah, I mean,
I remember it was Bobby Lee, Thea Vidal, Jim Pompa, and myself on that show. Jim Pompa.
Jim Pompa. That's a dope-ass fucking name.
Pompa, Chicano to the bone.
Oh, yeah. Pompiazos.
And I remember doing that show on Que Locos. And then I remember getting invited to... My shit aired Thanksgiving weekend of 2001. By the beginning of December, they invited me to do tour shows with Que Locos.
Oh, shit.
And I did... That was the end of that run. It was the Spreckles Theater in San Diego, the Fox Theater in Bakersfield, and the Tower Theater in Fresno.
Let me give a shout out to, you said Fresno, stand up, Bakersfield, stand up, San Diego, stand up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And we, I was like, whoa, like it was beyond surreal. Like my shit, I'm doing comedy. It's 2 years in.
Yeah.
I'm on the hottest show on television at the time. I'm on their tour. I'm out there with Gabe, Felipe, Armando Cosillo, Mike Robles. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like it like somebody's gonna pull the rug out from under me at some point. Again, that long in, you don't know what the fuck you're doing still.
Right.
You know, I'm just catching lightning in a bottle. I'm a man in my 30s.
Right.
Who the fuck gets that kind of early breaks? You know what I'm saying? Like this is a hustle that you need to start as a young man. So I'm here to tell you, I don't give a fuck how old you are. I don't give a fuck where you come from. None of that matters. Whatever your dream is, it's never too late. And so I caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm on tour with Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, and Felipe Esparza, touring the entire country. We're in Hawaii. We're in Ohio. We're in all over the Southwest, the Washington, D.C., just going all over the country.
Awesome.
And 2010, Gabriel got a TV show called Stand Up Revolution on Comedy Central. He was already established and a beast by then. I was the co-host of that show. I had a little podium right there, and I'm on that TV show for 3 seasons. Every single goddamn episode as the sidekick on the podium. Kind of like, ¿cómo se llama? Johnny Carson's sidekick.
Yeah.
Ed McMahon type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not the star of the show for sure, but every once in a while they default to me and I say something stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm the crazy rocker guy on there. And that same year, we take off we're on a tour bus and we live on the road. And we're fucking going. We must have hit every single, between the time that we started touring to 2010, we must have hit every single state, including Alaska and Hawaii, in the Union. I've been to every single state as an opener for Gabe. You know, a lot of motherfuckers would be like, yeah, but that was Gabe's show. That's fine. If I'm going to play second fiddle to anybody, it's to one of the baddest motherfuckers in the game.
Hell yeah.
You know, I don't think there's any shame in that. And it was a ridiculous experience. And then we started going international. We hit Europe. We hit the Middle East. We hit Southeast Asia. We hit Asia.
The Middle East?
Homie, we did Saudi Arabia, not with the military, with the locals. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We did a show with the Air Force where we hit Turkey, we had Kyrgyzstan, we hit
what about Kazakhstan?
Never hit Kazakhstan. I never met Borat out there. We did Spain. Yeah, I you know, not to sound pretentious, but I've lost count of how many countries I've been to.
That's beautiful, man.
And so when you ask me, you know, where has comedy taken you? It's given me an amazing life with some amazing memories that, you know, when you're in entertainment, you're privileged to see so many things, and a lot of times you're working towards something and you don't realize that journey, that when people say enjoy the ride, that ride is life. You know, sitting there saying that I'm working towards this or I'm working towards that, fuck all that. None of that is real. The only thing real is this fucking moment and the moment that's in front of you. And when you start learning how to enjoy that, which is, you know, unfortunately, people find out too late in the game. Yeah. There's a great philosopher named Alan Watts, you know, rest in peace. But when he talks about how, you know, you go to school, you get married, you have kids, you get the job, you retire, and finally when you're sick and your dick breaks down, you could go enjoy life.
The fuck?
Well, that's what happens. Well, when you retire is when you're supposed to enjoy it. Other
most
than that,
guys,
you're working.
when their dick breaks down, they go get a gas station pill.
Yeah, well, they're...
I just threw a lot of guys under the bus. But
when you don't need the gas station pill is when you should be fucking enjoying the shit out of it. And I think that it's easy to forget the moment when you're chasing something. Right now, you're in episode 100 and what?
25.
Whatever the goal is with this, I don't know.
Right.
But enjoy the fuck out of 125 and 126.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy the shit out of 127. And if 128 never gets here, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a
fuck? As
fuck?
long as 125 is something that you can say, fuck yeah, I had a good time on 125.
Fuck yeah.
You know, and I think that I've learned to do more of that.
Martin, I've had a good fucking time with the fellow Wilmero. So that's all I'm going to say, homie. So Wilma's in the motherfucking house. Thank you, Martin. You know, we're going to keep talking, but I just want to say thank you right now for coming on my show and blessing us with your presence, you know, and your comedy. It's dope, bro. So
no, I feel really fortunate, you know. I feel like I said, you know, here I am, a fucking 30-something-year-old open micer, given an opportunity to go around the planet.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm in Germany, bro. I'm fucking in Germany with an after-hours club with my finger inside some chick's ass at a bar.
Hell yeah.
Taking shots.
Know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to forget that shit.
Hell no.
You know?
You got your thumb up her chicloso.
While she's fucking singing fucking time of my life. And like, I've never felt this way before. No. I'm like, hey, fucking tell the officer how many fingers you got in your culo. You know?
And then you smell those fingers. That's the crazy part.
Bro, you know, I mean, it's... and look, I'm not saying that that's the peak of my, you know, my shit, but I'm sitting on private islands, fucking drinking fucking from wine cellars, eating fucking whale, like
holy shit,
which tastes like beef, you know.
Whale cock.
You know, not whale cock. Well, I don't know. Who knows if it was whale cock? They just said it was whale. Who knows what part they cut off? They fried that motherfucker off, and we fucking tore that shit up. I'm fucking. This dude's fucking got. Look, this is fucking fresh sea urchin. Like fucking scoops it up and fucking feeds. I'm fucking eating sea urchin in some fucking island in Norway somewhere. Wow. You know.
Wow.
I've chilled out with koala bears and kangaroos in fucking Australia. You know, I've gotten loaded and pissed on myself from how drunk I've been. You know, and people, oh my God, you peed on your phone? Motherfucker, if you've never peed on your phone, you've never gotten wasted. Like, damn. You know, if you've never peed, you've never been that. When your fucking brain can't wake up your fucking rest of your, hey, wake the fuck, you know, when your fucking homies passed out, wake up, motherfucker, wake up. Like, when your fucking body's like, fuck you, brain, just fucking pee, bitch, leave me alone, I'm not getting up. All right, if you've never partied like that, then you've never partied, all right?
Have you ever been to...
So that's why when you tell me have another shot, fuck you. Bitch, it's fucking Sunday. I got shit to do tomorrow. No disrespect.
I love you.
That in love.
I love you, brother. I love you. Take another shot. I don't give a fuck. Have you ever been too drunk to fuck?
Oh, hell yeah.
When you're like, Pito looks like a gummy worm?
Not even when it's a gummy worm. When I've had a chick jumping on the bed, he said he was going to tie me up. And so somebody telling her, Mija, you got to go. He's passed out. But he said, look at him. Motherfucker, we got to call the paramedics in a minute if this fucker don't fucking wake up. I've been too drunk to breathe. Too drunk to fuck.
Highway, Louisiana. Anyways, fuck, bro. That's some good shit, homie.
Yeah, no.
Martin Moreno from the city of Wilmas, homie.
Yes, you know, and look, you know what's funny, homie? I was in London, and I ran into this family out there, and she goes, we're on vacation here. We're from Wilmington. And I said, Wilmington, California? And she goes, yeah. I go, I'm from fucking Wilmas. And she goes, you're from Wilmas? And bro, for two people to say Wilmas in London was just, I almost cried, homie. What? Not to say that people from Wilmington don't go to Europe.
Right.
But to the be coincidence. There at that moment, to be there with somebody from Wilmington. You know, Wilmington, listen, whenever I meet people and they say, where are you from? I say, I'm from Wilmington. If people have heard of it, they say, you're from Wilmas.
Yes.
They'll say, they know Wilmas.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Not only do they know Wilmas, they know Wilmas is fucking a crazy place. So for somebody to be your age, be around what you were around, and not have a record speaks volumes. You're a fortunate man, Tony. You're blessed as fuck. You know, most of our peers are locked up, dead, or strung out.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. That's not, you know, when there's people walking around right now talking about, I'm hood. I don't wear that as a badge of honor. Right, I don't go claim hood. I don't claim to be a thug. I don't claim any of that. But it's my reality. It's what's in my DNA. I can't help but, you know, when people say, oh, yeah, I'm from the hood. I'm like, do you have a Starbucks? And they say, yeah. I go, then fuck you. Because there's no Starbucks in Wilmington.
Period.
When Starbucks says, fuck your hood, then you're hood.
Period.
That's a fact, homie.
That's a fact, homie.
Show me a Starbucks in Wilmas.
Hey, bro, I'm going to say something right now. Tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Please.
You're not from Wilmas unless you know Boogaloo Shrimp, Martin Moreno, or Tony A.
Hey, man. I got to tell you that Boogaloo Shrimp, and then his co-star, Shabadoo, rest in peace. You know, it's Wilmington it's such a small circle here.
Yes.
It's a super small circle, Tony. And to be able to still be walking and talking 50 years later.
Yes.
Is nothing short of a fucking miracle. I did so many stupid things that, you know, I remember partying in Ghost Town during crack.
Fuck.
I remember my homie lived on O Street.
O Street. Fuck.
O Street in Blinn.
Was like a, look, remember how many people walked through the swamp meet aisles? That's how O Street was.
O Street was like the line at O Street was longer than the line at In-N-Out to buy crack.
O Street was like Wall Street.
Yes.
O Street, I'm going to say it right now.
Freeway Ricky was coming to fucking O Street.
Yes. O Street was like Wall Street, and that's in Wilma. So, and
again, I don't wear that like, oh my God, that was
right.
That wasn't me. I wasn't slanging it.
I said that shamefully.
I smoked it and I tried it. I mean, I experimented with it.
Because you're a very spiritual guy. But I say that shamefully, but you know what? That's the way it was. Period. And, you know, whatever. But that's whatever.
You know, I say you're not from Wilmington if you don't know fucking Montoya's and Isaac's Burritos.
Yes.
You know? Or fucking Los Tres Cochinitos.
Oh, shit. My boy, Angel Montes. That was my best friend.
Shout out to Angel.
Angel, Los Tres Cochinitos, al 100, mariscos, off the motherfucking hook. La Paz. Even though they don't clean their shrimp. But, yeah, La Paz.
But still.
Yeah, La Paz.
You know.
3 tacos for $10.
Payless on L Street.
Payless on, fuck. Now,
Remember?
it's a dollar store now.
It's a dollar store, but that's fucking Payless,
yeah,
homie.
that was Payless.
You know?
Yeah, you pay less when you go there.
You know, El Cine Granada. You know that when my dad was an old man, he was the janitor there, homie.
El Cine Granada?
He would clean the Granada.
Fuck.
That's how Wilmington I am. When you had Thrifty and Top Value were the only thing in that shopping center.
What was Thrifty known for? Ice cream.
Ice cream. And there was a gang there, remember?
Hell yeah.
Thrifty locals, bro. These motherfuckers would go like this, bro. And they'd fight the Top Value locals. Nah, I'm just fucking around. No disrespect to the Thrifty locals back in the day.
Fuck. Thrifties. Can I get 2 scoops?
I know it was what, 10 cents?
Yeah.
A scoop or whatever the fuck it was.
You walk over and that shit, I was the shit back then.
Thrifty ice cream was the shit.
Yeah.
Gilbert's over by the pawn shop.
What about across the street from Banning? Rouse Arcade. And then Rouse Arcade.
Dude, there was a panaderia across the street from Banning. Used to make these bomb ass burritos.
Burritos, El Centavo.
El Centavo, homie.
El Centavo.
And then in the east side was La Perla. I'd go in there and buy a 6-pack of goddamn fucking Lowenbrow. Never got carded, dog. At La Perla Bakery.
They didn't give a fuck. They just wanted to make some money. Period. So.
Yeah. Candy's Liquor. Gonzalez Restaurant back in the day. You know, this is Wilmington is always in my DNA.
Could be another one.
Always in my DNA.
Martin, I think I'm buzzed.
That's okay, bro. You should be. You're home. If we were home, that bottle be gone. If I was home, you know.
Sip a little bit more. Let me be a bad influence. Let me be El Diablo.
You want to be El Diablo?
You want another beer or you know?
You know what? I'll take another. I'm going to sip a little bit more of this. No
Okay,
beer, but
go
I'll
ahead.
sip a little bit more.
All good. Everybody hang in there.
Just
He's
a little,
sipping a little bit
just
more.
a little taste.
Sipping on gin and juice.
Bendito sea Dios. But yeah, dude. I mean, we're going down memory lane right now, and people are like, "What the fuck are these monkeys talking about?"
Hey.
But it's only if you're from here can you understand that, you know.
Yeah. This is the barrio. I'm gonna share some with you. Do you remember going to your mom and dad's room? Ama, me persinas? Only a true Catholic, old school would know when somebody said me persinas.
I had a paper up.
Okay.
Back in the day, I delivered the Daily Breeze.
Okay.
And no matter where I went, until my mom has Alzheimer's now, so she no longer she struggles now. I would never be able to leave the house without her. Que Dios te bendiga.
Yeah.
Que Dios te bendiga. Dios te bendiga. And sometimes I'd be like, I'm leaving, and she wouldn't say it, and I'd be like, I'd look up like, what the fuck, you know? And she was like, no te vas hasta que te dé la bendición, ¿verdad? Like, she knew.
Right.
But yeah, that was, I couldn't leave without her saying que Dios te bendiga. I remember my mom would, no matter how old I was, where I was, ¿por qué no me llamaste? I want to know that you're fine. How come you didn't call? How come you didn't call? Just call, check in, let me know you're okay. Mom, I'm fucking 30 years old. What are you talking about? And then I remember she stopped calling. And I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody giving a fuck no more.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that was a mind fuck. So yeah, I do know what the bendición is all about. I know what the persina is.
I'm going to ask you, is your mother and father still alive?
What's that?
Is your mother and father still alive?
My mother is, not my dad.
Okay. I'm going to say this. My mother was my best friend. And when my mother passed away, that's when I fell apart. Okay. Several years later, my father passed away. And there's times that I wake up and I say, I'm going to go to breakfast and I'm going to call my dad. And I'm going to see if he wants to go. And then I catch myself remembering that my dad's no longer here. So I will say this. Even though I have my children with me, knowing that my mother and my father are no longer here, I still feel I feel very lonely. There's many times that I go and I park where my mother lived, in her home, and I just sit there. Even at my age, I still do. Okay, because losing your mother and losing your father, those are wounds that can never, like, growing up, you never think like you're gonna lose your mother and your father. And once again, even though I have my children here, I still feel very, very lonely. So yeah, I miss my mother and my father. So hopefully one day I get to reunite with them.
There's still, this is the trip that I've learned, bro. Like when my grandmother named me. My grandmother she never talked to me like a little kid. My grandmother talked to me like a grown-ass man from day one. Mm-hmm. Remember, I had a ring on my finger that I had gotten from the stupid machine, for like 10 cents back in the day.
Right.
And I put on the stupid ring, and she says, "Quítatelo de ahí, pendejo. Take it out from there, dummy. Ese es el picaculo." Like, that's the finger that goes up the ass. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding, lady? I'm 7. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, right?
Right.
But that's how this woman would talk to me. My grandmother, I have a picture of my grandmother drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette, sitting on a fucking wheelchair with her leg chopped off.
Wow.
She was a thug till the end. My grandmother was a single mother in the 1930s in Mexico and owned a restaurant and a bar. She was a fucking
warrior.
A warrior, a chingona. And thanks to this spiritual connection that I've made, thanks to Ashe Imports and her mother, as crazy as this sounds, Tony, I've been able to reconnect with my grandmother. I feel her energy more than I ever have since she passed away. And it's, as much as they're gone, their DNA lives through you, lives through your kids. And when you learn how to tap into it, it's not the same as their physical presence, but you tap into that energy. And there's a little bit of a comfort and a healing there.
Yeah. Awesome, Martin. Awesome. I didn't want to get into that because I never really liked to talk about my mother, my father, pero it happened. So if you're listening and you lost a mother or a father, then you understand, you sympathize. And I my condolences and my prayers are out to you.
And also, I'd like to say that there's people that have really strained relationship with their family, and not everybody resonates the same way. But the people that do resonate that way, and you do have a connection, and you're fortunate enough to have your mother or your father still with you, take it from me, worship the fucking ground that they walk on now, not when they're fucking gone or when they're too sick to know. That's all.
Awesome. Martin, is there anything you want to promote other than your Yo podcast?
You can catch me on the Yo podcast with Martin and Hooter. If you speak Spanish, I have a podcast called No Te Asustes, 100% in Espanol. I've got a project that I'm working on with Citric Campos and a very cast of talented actors called Citric's Big Break, and you'll be hearing more of that in the next few months. I hate the coming soon, but fuck it, I'll say it, coming soon. I was on an episode of Ghetto Busters. I'm also doing if you go to martinmoreno.com, you'll find all my, the links to everything. I'm doing, the first show that I've got listed for now is in April in Baja California. We're doing a comedy show and we're calling it Winazo Fest. There's going to be tacos and winazos and
winazos
and comedy and miracle candles, and it's going to be and weed, because there's weed is legal in Mexico now. So thank God for that. Other than that, man, just check out martinmoreno.com for anything that I got coming up. I want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you for supporting the homie here, Tony the Wizard, Antonio Alvarez. And thank you very much for inviting me, brother. I really appreciate it. I've had a really good time tonight, not just talking, but listening to you and listening to you share a little bit of your personal life like that. That takes balls. Most people fucking kind of, brush that shit away, but much respect to you, and again, continued success, and keep doing your fucking thing and keep grinding, brother.
Thank you.
And fucking God bless Wilmas.
God bless. You know what? Damn. That ought to be a shirt right there.
Is that right?
He said, God bless Wilmas. What the? That's dope. ¿Sabes qué, Martín? Muchas gracias, hermano. Let's throw up the W real quick. Bam! Bam. Okay? Straight up. God bless Wilmas. That ought to be a shirt right there. Yo, Fashion Town, my boy Jen, you got to get that. God bless Wilmas, okay? Other than that, I want to thank Martin Moreno. Fuck, we've been friends since horticulture, homeroom, fucking.
Wilmington Junior High.
Wilmington Junior High.
Back then.
He used to get high. I used to hide
Warriors.
in the corn. Okay. So other than that, let me give a shout out to John motherfucking Elkins. Let me give a shout out to fucking my boy Anthony. Let me give a shout out to Alex Cervantes Enterprise. Let me give a shout out to my boy B Scanless. It's B Scanless, not be nice. B Scanless. Nah, I mean. Other than that, many of you have been asking, hey, how come there hasn't been no Freaky Tales? We've been filming. So I'll probably do a couple of more Freaky Tales, and after that, it's going to probably going to be on hold, not a wrap, on hold, because we got a lot of filming to do. So people have been asking, what kind of filming? Chicano rap filming, okay? So we're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it, so. Yo, with this Chicano rap documentary, I'm going to knock this shit out the fucking park. Straight up, okay? Can't nobody do it like I'm doing it. Straight up, on the real. Martin Moreno. Muchas gracias. Follow him on IG. Ask him any question. Even if you're a fucking pervert, ask him whatever. You know, I don't give a fuck. Right? Ask him whatever. We from Wilmas. We straight up. So, whatever. You have a blessed night. I'll see you Wednesday. I love you guys. Hold on, let me say something real quick. You know what's crazy? According to a YouTube video, I was supposed to be arrested by Sunday. He's supposed to be arrested by this week. I'm still here. So maybe you ought to start questioning your source. And with that, I'm out of here. Have a blessed night. I'm out of here.
You got it.